Welcome back, YouTube viewer. And today I came to read to you a recent newspaper article from my home state, Connecticut. And, I see a lot of headlines, maybe not a lot, but whatever. I see headlines, and I would say 99 out of 100 headlines don't get me. This one got me. I did a little clicky and I had to read, and I was only a couple paragraphs in when I knew I had to make a video because being a lifelong Connecticut resident, I'm not sure I've read an article that more epitomizes the Connecticut experience than this one. The current modern Connecticut experience. I'm not talking about the Connecticut experience 50 years ago. I'm talking about now. Anyway, on to the article, which was written by Paul Hughes, a staff writer at the Connecticut Insider. And I'm going to email Paul a copy of this video because he worked hard on this article and he might find some of the things I say here humorous. Southbury couple accused of removing nearly 140 trees on town land want judge to visit their home. Now, before you even read the article, how do you not already form an opinion based on that this couple would like to slip the judge some cash, and they don't want to do it on public property. They don't want to do it at the courthouse where there's cameras and microphones. They want to do it at their house. That's the first thing I thought of, right? And judges taking bribes is SOP, right? And as we get into the article, we'll realize why, why that our initial reaction is not unwarranted or unjustified or ridiculous. It is, it could possibly be scarily accurate. All right. Anyway, here we go. Now this picture looks almost innocuous, but I can see a pattern in the picture. I don't know if you guys can. Over on the right-hand side, you can see the level of trees is clearly higher than what is between the house and the river and the water. You can see how there's like a level of trees, and then if you go along on the right, all of a sudden it gets higher. And almost you can see the water on the other, it gets very narrow. You know what I mean? Because your view of the water gets very narrow because the trees are so high, and it looks like all in front of their house, the trees have been topped, which would topping trees is exactly how it sounds. Cut the tops. Maybe not cut the whole tree, but just the part that's blocking your view. I have experience. I'm not going to go into that. Okay, so right away I see this picture and I'm like, huh, yeah, definitely the tree pattern didn't do that naturally, right? And also assuming that the state is suing them because that's not their property, that the trees got cut on. From this picture, I could take a wild guess and say that somewhere near where the grass ends in their backyard is where their land ends. And it says they have 9 acres, and it's probably 9 acres forward. A lot of municipalities in Connecticut have taken to acquiring the waterfront property because they know it will all be houses if they don't. Every waterfront would have a house on it in Connecticut if the municipalities didn't go, hey, you know, aside from environmental reasons why we shouldn't do that, it's just aesthetically wrong. And we'd like to keep nature natural and not have a dock, not have it look like the suburbs, basically, because that's what the lakes where they don't regulate, that's what they look like. You should, some of the houses are a foot apart, if that, in the dot, and it just looks like, the paper boy goes by on a jet ski instead of a bicycle. It's disgusting. Let's read the article. Southbury, Alan and Teresa Salzman. Now they doxed themselves here. They outed themselves. I had some ethical questions about reading these names and not and having maybe blocking them out, but this is a public newspaper. This is public knowledge. And by the way, this person, Alan, has testified in public about this situation. He has blatantly, in my opinion, lied. But and he's not doing any good for the reputation of lawyers. Because Alan Salzman is a lawyer. And I also had some debate in my head whether I would look this guy up and find out what kind of lawyering he does. Who does he work for? I won't do that to Alan. It could reveal some not so flattering things. I doubt I'm going to find out something that makes me think higher of him. Alan and Teresa Salzman are hoping a different perspective. Cash convinces a Connecticut judge presiding over a $1.5 million lawsuit against them to see things from their point of view. See, if you don't want to pay $1 million for getting sued, maybe the judge will take $250,000, $500,000. We're just trying to save a buck here. The town of Southbury is suing the Salzmans in the State Superior Court in Waterbury, alleging they unlawfully cut down a football field-sized swath of trees on town-owned property in 2018 to get a better view of Lake Lillanoa and the Chippewa River from their home on Cooney Road. What a sentence right there. Paul? Kicking ass, Paul. A hearing is scheduled for Monday on whether the judge will visit the Salzman's property to see the landscape from there. As if that... Again, this is, like I said, epitomizes Connecticut. The chutzpah. Come on, come to our house and see the view. The suit alleges the Salzmans illegally cut down nearly 140 trees on the 750-acre former Housatonic Farm property that the town and state purchased as open space for $8 million during the 1990s. That means that was a lot of money back then. You could probably triple that now. The town-owned property abuts the Salzman's property and sits on a steep hillside between their property and the lake. Yeah, exactly how I said it looks. Where the grass ends is where your property ends. The Salzmans are contesting the town's allegations. They're contesting poorly. Wait till you see how. Southbury First Selectman Jeffrey Manville, Jeffrey, points to the area where a football field-sized section of trees were removed back in 2018. According to the suit, some of the trees that were felled were more than 90 feet tall and more than 100 years old. Yeah, those are the oldest trees in Connecticut. Okay, about that, because everything was cut down. The forest cover on the town-owned land was predominantly mixed hardwoods with red oak, black oak, white oak, hickory, and sugar maple. The suit alleges unlawful encroachment to open space land, trespass on land, and 2 counts of unlawful cutting or removal of trees and shrubbery. This is the man right here, Alan Salzman, spoke publicly about the tree cutting incident back in 2018, saying he did not instruct the men he hired to cut down the trees on town property. There's a picture here. Yeah, here's another one where you can clearly see a thinning pattern. From the house down to the water, you see a lot more of the ground. You see a very thinning of the canopy. Now, if you look to the left and the right, a lot thicker. But anyway, wait till you hear Alan's story, cause it's a doozy. The town is seeking $1.5 million from the Salzmans based on an expert arborist estimate of the tree restoration costs. Arborist Scott Cullen reported 134 live trees were cut, topped, or damaged, and another 4 trees that were cut down were dead, the documents show. The town is also seeking damages that could tag on another $7.5 million to any court award. Mr. Salzman might, he might not have looked up these laws before he took this action. Might not have done your due diligence as a lawyer, Alan. Who was doing your homework in law school, Alan? Anyway, under state law, a court may award, under a state law, one Alan could have looked up, a court may award up to 5 times the cost of restoration when a party encroaches in open space land owned by the state, a municipality, or nonprofit land conservation. Yeah, we can't put the trees back tomorrow. They need to grow. That costs money. There's inflation. Time goes by. The algorithm says, how much more? 5 times the cost. Yeah, pay me. 5 times the cost of restoration when a party encroaches in an open space land owned by the state, a municipality, or nonprofit land conservation. In determining the amount of the award, the court must consider the willfulness of the violation, the extent of any damage done to natural resources, the appraised value of any trees or shrubs cut, damaged, or carried away, and any economic gain realized by the violator, and any other relevant factors. Bro, you're in trouble. Fulfilling a lot of what they're talking about there. You willfully did this. Your property value is going to go up now that you can see the water better. You're trying to get one over on the state, seems, and not gonna. It's Connecticut, bro. It's not Mississippi. This picture. Look at this picture. Oh, let me read this first. In affidavit filed with the court in October 2021, Southbury First Selectman Jeffrey Manville cited a real estate listing of the Salzman's home at the time as evidence. The couple cut down the trees on the town-owned land to improve their view of Lake Lillinois. Yeah, because it probably says in the listing, look, you can see the lake. Woo! And it probably didn't see that in the listing that before they bought the house, because the trees were up and you couldn't see the fucking lake. And look at this picture. Bro, like I was saying before from the other one, you can clearly see there is a thinning pattern directly in front of all the windows of the house. Dude, did you think no one was going to notice when they went by in a boat that, like, holy shit, we couldn't see that house before. Now we can. Like, he might have thought, like, oh, no one's going to come to my house and see that I did this, but they don't need to. What about the river, bro? You're not smart. You're not smart. You're a New York City lawyer, but you ain't smart, bro. That's disturbing. Or expected. Oh, depends on your perspective. The Salzmans purchased a 9.8-acre property with a 2-story, 4-bedroom colonial-style house of nearly 10,500 square feet for $940,000 in 2015. According to town records, the town last year appraised the value of the property at $1.1 million for tax purposes. Make a little money, I guess. Did they appraise that before they knew that the view had improved? Because it may be more now. The town last year appraised the value at 1.1 last year. I wonder if maybe is that when they discovered the trees? You know, they show up and go, I wonder. I don't think we're going to find that out. The court trial in the civil matter concluded February 20th. It's March 18th. And March 16th, this article was written. The court trial in the civil matter concluded February 20th, and then Judge Joseph H. Pellegrino visited the property. He's already been there. Visited the property. That part is interesting because how would you cut trees that are not on these? They didn't cut their trees. They cut the town's trees. Why does the judge need to see anything? Like it says on the map, all my experts say you cut the town's trees. Why do I need to see anything? That part is a little, like I said, are you going there to see how much is in the envelope? And then you take it and then maybe it's not enough and then this guy's upset. I don't know. Because I don't know why the judge would need to go at all. Anyway. He visited the property off Gunner and Cooney Roads in the Purchase section of town on February 28th to get a look for himself. Wait a minute. The civil matter concluded February 20th. And now this guy went 8 days later? Oh, that's even more red flag. I don't know. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I have read case books for fun. I kind of know law. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. Oh. Maybe the dates are wrong. I don't know. Paul? The couple's attorney, Ashley A. Knoll, filed a request February 27th. Okay, that Pellegrino also. Okay, so on February 27th, after the trial is already concluded, and obviously not well for them, or else why are they, right? Ashley on February 27th requested the judge conduct an inspection from the view of the Salzman's property and from within their home. I mean, you guys have seen the pictures. We can see from above. You've clearly... Why do I need to see from your house? From inside your house? Where there just happens to be, like, some cash laying around? Whoops. Like, this is Connecticut. That this stuff made it to print. This is the part, that's why I'm making this video. This type of information usually is not in print. I don't know. Anyway, come to our house. Through its attorney, the town objected to the judge returning to conduct a second inspection, but he did already. Hold on. And this sentence is troubling. The court trial in the civil matter concluded February 20th, and then Judge Joseph H. Pellegrino visited the property off Gunner and Coon roads on February 28th to get a look for himself. So he did go, even though the lawyers of the town are going, but why? This guy's getting paid. Okay, through its attorney, the town objected, but he went anyway. The town objected to the judge returning to conduct a second inspection. Pellegrino scheduled the Monday hearing on the matter. The judge has given both sides until March 31st to file any post-trial briefs. In a court filing, Knoll, their lawyer, stated the Salzmans had no motivation to cut down any trees on the south side of Gunnar Road because the area is not visible from any place within or about the Salzmans' home. It's very hard to believe. Through its attorney, Thomas A. Kalin, the town filed an objection to Salzman's request on the same day, arguing it was procedurally improper because Knoll made the verbal request at trial and Pellegrino had rejected it. Yeah, because everyone was in the room. He couldn't be like, yeah, I'm like, show up for the bribe. But then he went. Kalin wrote that the proper procedure would be to file a motion for reconsideration or a motion to re-argue, rather than simply make the request again, which seems like he fulfilled illegally. I'm not sure. Knoll did not immediately respond to messages Friday. I guess. If the Salzmans' request is granted, the filing said the couple would make their property available at the court's discretion and without their presence. Can't bribe you if we're not there. Although, look on Alright, this is the part where, okay, it jumps the shark. Alan Salzman. This is the part where why I considered looking you up to see who you fucking work for, because you are a scumbag. Sleazeball lawyer. Alan Salzman at a June 7th, 2018 Southbury Board of Selectmen meeting in which the tree cutting was discussed said he was not the one who cut the trees and that he did not instruct the tree cutters to remove the town-owned trees. A video recording of Salzman speaking at that meeting was submitted into evidence during the trial. Here it comes. Salzman stated then that he was in his car leaving for work when he was approached by two unknown men in a van with a dog, weird detail, who were looking for work. Salzman said he paid the men a small amount of cash, $300 or $400, to cut down only trees on his own property, then proceeded to work. There is not a human on this planet. There is not a human on this planet, Alan, that believes that you were backing out of your $1 million home in Southbury and there were some random dudes in a van with a dog looking for work, and you gave them cash to cut down trees. Again, there's not a human on the planet who will believe that you left your $1 million home and just randomly hired some dudes at the bottom of your driveway and then went off to work to your law office in New York City. Like, I'm not even making that part up. Like, to make the story better. That's actually what fucking happened. Or what you said happened. Excuse me. Salzman said at the meeting that he was, quote, naive and negligent. Bro, if that's a real story, you should be, your license to practice law should be stripped, suspended, whatever the fuck they do. Because you are, like, you know, suffering from dementia or something. You need help. If that actually happened, you should not be representing anybody in a court. That's crazy. You're not fit. If you're that naive, you ain't fit to go up against lawyers. Like, bro. So funny. Like, I had to make this video. This video makes itself. Naive and negligent in not better supervising the work. What do you mean better supervising? You said you went to fucking work. Salzman said he was, quote, flabbergasted. Oh, I love how that's in quotes. I like how he used that word. I like how I bet you he thought of which word he was going to use. And his fancy education spit out flabbergasted. When he realized the extent of the tree cutting, I would have never told them to do this, he told the selectman, who he thought was an idiot probably. But the town alleges in the suit that Alan Salzman engaged the contractors, negotiated payment terms, and initially directed their activities, and that Teresa, doting wife, Salzman continued to direct the contractors after her husband left the couple's home to travel to his law office in New York City. This also was made in New York City. Get a room. The Salzman, again, now this is where his degree is coming in handy. The Salzmans also claimed several special defenses in their answer to the town suit, including that the town had induced the couple to believe that they owned the trees that were cut down and that the property where... Wait, does that sentence make sense? The Salzmans also claimed several special defenses in their answer to the town suit, including that the town had included the couple, the town had induced the couple to believe that they owned the trees that were cut down. Okay, so Paul, to write that better, you would say that the town had induced the couple to believe that they owned the land and the trees that were cut down on that property. Because the way you wrote it is very awkward. I don't even know if it's making sense here. Had induced, did AI write this? Paul had induced the couple to believe that they owned the trees that were cut down and the property where the trees were located. How could you own the tree but not the property? I mean, again, that's, you know, I want to rewrite that sentence over and over and over again. Another special defense claimed adverse possession. Adverse possession. Like doing the math in my head. Under state law, someone who has used and occupied another person's land by an open, visible, and exclusive possession uninterruptedly for a 15-year period. When did they buy the house? Can acquire title to real estate. The Salzmans claimed that they had acquired an easement through adverse possession. But some, I mean, I don't, did they didn't buy it less than 15. Buy this. In 20, okay, so it's only 10 years. So that's, bro. Grasping straws is not even like, sufficient enough to describe what you're doing here. Because there's no straws even left to grasp. You're grasping air. Because you have to have exclusive possession uninterruptedly for a 15-year period to even acquire this ghost title that you say you have. You've only been there for 10 years. Sir! I think you need a new lawyer. If this one's your niece or something, quit, if she's not working, you know, not charging you a retainer or whatever, you know, you might want to shop around. And let's give Paul a little credit for the reporting here. Sorry about dissecting your sentence, but that's me, Paul. Paul Hughes is a reporter with the Republican American. He has been with the Hearst, Connecticut Media Group. By the way, Hearst, you should hire me. Since 2025, if you can afford me. When not working, he can be found playing golf. Paul, let's play. Rooting for the New York Giants and hanging out with friends and family. Sounds like a nice guy. And I'm going to find your email, Paul, and send you a copy of this. But yeah. Thank you guys very much for reading this article, Connecticut Insider, with me. Again, I'm not sure I've read a article that was more Connecticut than this article. It's so Connecticut!